Our next edition of Get to Know Your Seniors is with Trent Scheitel from Falls City. And Trent, I'm going to start you off here just a little bit. If you could share with our audience maybe a couple reasons why you chose to come to Nebraska Wesleyan.
Okay. One, obviously getting recruited for basketball was a main reason to come, and in addition to that is the business department here at Nebraska Wesleyan. I heard for some older basketball players told me that it's a great department to come into, and it leads to future success, like in getting jobs right out of college, and that's pretty huge coming at that time too, especially right after the financial crisis. It's pretty hard to get jobs right away, so that was a big thing for me. Is I knew I wanted to go into somewhere in business, somewhere along those lines, so that definitely helped to go along with basketball. And lastly, the third reason was another one of my players from high school, Mitch Liberty, played here, and he kind of talked to me a little bit, and we were pretty close in high school, and kind of it was nice to follow him and get to play with him a couple more years as well. So.
Okay. So you talk about your degree, kind of the business side, or maybe more specifically kind of looking from an accounting angle, kind of looking at that. Tell us a little bit about your plans after graduation. What are you planning to do? Obviously, you have a job lined up already, which is outstanding. But kind of share a little bit. What are you going to do after graduation?
Okay. This summer, I actually had an internship in Omaha with KPMG. It's one of the big four accounting firms, public accounting firms in the world. And I got lined up through Wesleyan. Had an on-campus interview. Got lined up. Got the internship. Had that and everything, and actually got offered a job at the end of it, which was nice. So I'll be working in Omaha as an auditor, and hopefully I'll continue to just do that for a while, and we'll see where that takes me.
Okay. So looking at the accounting side, obviously I believe that's well spoken for, and we've had guys within our program. Probably thinking of three recent ones. You included that, but in addition to Brandon Arp and Andy Schweitzer, both those guys also had jobs in the accounting side of things before their senior years. So probably a program that has really prepared you guys well going into the real world.
Sure.
What about you ever think about going back and maybe farming with your dad at all?
I like going back and helping him, but the farming thing is not for me. Whatever I can do to help him is nice. It's nice getting back, but he kind of pushed me away from that side of things from a young age. Kind of wanted me to do my own thing and not work as many hours as he does. So I do like helping him, but that's probably not what's in store for my future.
So you spent some summers back at home.
Yep.
Doing a little work with your dad, family there. Let's kind of stay on the academic side. What would be your favorite class at Nebraska Wesleyan?
I think sophomore year I took a business class with James Perry, and he's kind of a well-rounded guy. He teaches anything from business to criminal justice to sociology, and it wasn't just the class itself, but he was a really good professor to me and taught me a lot of things, especially it was business communication was the class. And we talked about giving speeches, talking in public, anywhere from that to writing memos to just doing everything. And just the things that he taught me will definitely correlate to things I'll do after college. And I think that's one of the main reasons I liked it, is because I knew I'd use a lot of those things later in life as well.
Okay. We spend a lot of time on the floor from a basketball perspective. Kind of the second side of that is guys spending time in the classroom also. But what might be your interest outside of those two areas, or what might we find you in as far as an on-campus activity? What are some things that you might be involved with across campus?
As far as across campus, during my free time, mainly like to hang out with my friends, do a lot of frisbee golfing around campus with teammates and buddies. That's always a good time to relax after a lift or after a workout or something like that. Other than that, you can find me with my roommates golfing at any one of the Lincoln golf courses. I know previously in one of these senior spotlights, my roommate Andrew Metis mentioned golfing. He didn't mention the beatdowns that I put on him every so often, but that's one of the good things we do in our free time as well.
So I think he did fail to mention that. What about maybe a spot to eat in Lincoln? What's your favorite spot to eat within the city?
I think Raising Cane's is the spot to be, especially after Wesleyan gets the Canes Challenge, going there with two guys and pay half price for 2 Caniacs, 2 toasts, no coleslaw.
Okay. What would be, let's kind of look a little more towards basketball. As far as talking a little bit as far as NBA, what might be your favorite NBA team? And second, who would be your favorite NBA player?
I'd have to say I'm a Lakers fan. not die hard, but that's my team, I guess. And I really like watching Kobe play. He works really hard. You can tell that he puts a lot of time in off the court, and that's really something that I try to do as well. And the time he puts in, you can just tell that he wants to be the best, and he just shows when he plays. And I just really like watching him.
As we talk about maybe our team and being on the floor, what might be maybe one of your most memorable basketball experiences throughout your first 3 years?
Yeah, it's pretty tough, but I have to say sophomore year, beating Dordt at home when they were ranked number 5 in the country, that was pretty special. Everyone had it was a great all-around team game. And then the second one that comes to mind is last year we battled back at Hastings, had some key plays down the stretch, and came back to beat them in the final minutes there at Hastings. That was a really good win for us as well.
Yeah, that first half of that Hastings game probably wasn't.
The first half wasn't great, but
wasn't our best.
The whole game was pretty fun overall. So.
Do you have, as you get ready for games, do you have any basically rituals or traditions that you use to get ready for a game?
Yeah, a little bit. I used to play baseball, so I'm kind of superstitious. If I play well the game before, I always wear the same pair of socks and the same undergarments for every game. If it's going well for me, if I don't play as well, I kind of change it up a little bit. But I always have the same routine for stretching before every game, the same routine for about the 10 or 12 songs I listen to every game, just to kind of get me pumped up and ready to go for the game.
Okay. As you look back, kind of fast forwarding here just a little bit with your last year of college, what do you think it'll be as far as maybe one or two things that you might miss most about Nebraska Wesleyan, whether it's on the floor, away from the floor? What might you miss most about your experience at Nebraska Wesleyan?
I think one of the main things is just being around the guys. Here at Wesleyan, there's a great bond, especially our basketball team, and just people here in general. It's hard to explain if you don't come here, but the people at Nebraska Wesleyan are just truly unique, and just stepping on campus, people are always asking how you're doing or what you're doing that day, what you're doing this weekend, and just being around campus, and there's kind of a camaraderie involved in it, and I'll probably miss that a lot more than anything else.
You seem to get that a little bit, whether it's from our maintenance staff or from the Sodexo in the dining hall.
Yeah.
You go there, it seems like those people follow athletics quite a bit.
People make relationships with everyone on campus.
Yeah.
It's pretty
whether it's
fun.
your peers or just faculty, staff, going across campus.
Yeah, they do.
That concludes our wrap up here with Trent Scheitel, a senior from Falls City, and looking forward to our next senior interview with Tim Schweitzer.